Hey everybody, and welcome to another Jamovi video. In this video, we're going to talk about some updates. Hell yeah, updates. 2025 has been real good to us, and the devs over at Jamovi have released 2.7.5, although they've technically released 2.7, right? Because we were on 2.6 for a good couple of years, I think. If I'm scrolling down, yeah, I think we've been on 2.6 for a good couple of years. Well, maybe about a year and a half. In any case, we've got 2.7, folks, and 2.75 is the most recent. And before I jump into the new features, I'm sure you can spot something different. Oh, it's a PLOTS tab. Yeah, buddy, that is the biggest feature, I think, that has come in 2.7. And as you can see, here we have the flurry of updates in the last several weeks. I'm only a couple of weeks behind the 2.7 update, which came out on July 26, 25. So good. But in any case, we're going to look at, in this video, the PLOTS tab. Hell yeah. We are also going to look at how to do a PowerPoint export of a plot, and then some background improvements. They updated their R engine to 4.5, which I think came out in the last several months, last year or so. I know I specifically updated because I changed computers, and so I specifically changed my R to 4.5, so they're doing that as well. And then the CRAN snapshot, which is getting the packages that you can get for Jamovi. You can sideload, of course, but then there are also the packages and modules that you can get up here. So this is a fresh install. I don't have any of those modules or packages installed yet. I'm gonna have to go back through and do that, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing that. But that's the most recent CRAN snapshot, so you can get your packages to sideload, and of course, architectural improvements. And then they spent the next couple of weeks doing bug fixes and improvements, right, through August, and then some UI bugs that popped up. I did not experience any of these because I have not been able to play with the new version 2.7 since it got added to the website for download a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to play with it now. Not too crazy. Again, this video is not going to be very long because we're just going to play with the two new features, two very, very big features, right? Which is the PLOTS menu. And I think the PLOTS menu, if we go to it here, if we click on it, is obviously going to be expanded on. I don't think this is where we are going to end the story as far as Jamovi is concerned. And I'm not part of the development team. I'm just an onlooker who loves this kind of stuff. And I like to share it with you all who watch these videos, of course. So this is, I would say, the starter set. But again, it's probably going to expand from here. And I'm pretty sure, like, these are the main five, bar plot, box plot, histogram, scatter plot, and line plot. These are the main five that are going to be here forever. Just like when you go into analyses, you've got the main five sitting here that you get in the base version of Jamovi without adding any of the modules, right? And so we've got this base five, and then we've got more, which includes the Pareto plot. We're not going to explore the Pareto plot today because you need data that I'm just like, I'm not willing to look into, but you can play with Pareto plots. I'm just going to quickly show, what data looks like in each of these things. And interestingly, for me, this new histogram being just a function in and of itself is going to help me this coming semester because I use Jamovi in my classes. It's going to be this coming semester. So I'm going, instead of trying to finagle it in Excel, we're just going to use this histogram plot, and it's going to be great. And they can export it into a PDF slide, or not a PDF slide. Well, they can if they want to, a PDF document, but I'm going to have them put it into a PowerPoint, which is going to be phenomenal because then they can then they know how to do it if they need to add a graph to a presentation. Great. This is great. They don't have to download it as an image. It's actually going to be a PowerPoint file that can just slide right in. An image, it doesn't make it that much easier. Maybe not. It doesn't really matter because it is an access point, and any easy simplified access point is going to be better than an occluded access point or buried deep within menus. So that's what I'll say. So let's go ahead. I've prepared this earlier. We're using the base Jamovi data file. So when you download Jamovi, you get a few bits of data. So we'll go to the data library, get the few bits of data. I already have learning statistics with Jamovi and our data set. So you get these four in base Jamovi. So when you download them, you can get this. So you can follow along with me using the Dolan et al. 2009 Big Five set. That's what I have open right here. And as you can see, I just did a histogram for neuroticism because it was the first one. I tried to do a Pareto plot, but you need a categorical variable, and I'm not going to open up a categorical variable, but that would be a Pareto plot. And as you can see, when I go click on these, you get general options. You can change the plots and axes. You can add a legend. So we'll go through all that. And I also did a random scatter plot. I did a random line plot. And as you can see, this is what a scatter plot looks like if you connected all of the dots. Connect the dots, kids, on your kids menu at the restaurant. Whee! That's what that would look like. And then I did a box plot, I think with, conscientiousness. And then I did a bar plot, and you can see that we have individual options for what kinds of variables go over here. I did a bar plot, but this is technically a counts bar plot for each value, which bleeds together, of what, extroversion? Yeah, so you wouldn't want to do this. Doesn't make any sense, but in any case, it's like a counts bar plot, but it's a histogram too. So let's go through some of these things. So I put neuroticism in here, and you can group. If you had a grouping variable, men, women, I don't know, you can put them in here, and it will separate them into 2 different plots. We've got general options. You can do your bin width as auto, which I always recommend in a computer program. It's going to display the best, but if you wanted to do a manual bin width, then you can do that. You can show the bins, and that would be down here. You can show the bins. Bin opacity 1. We can make the bins more opaque, I suppose. It has to be between 0 and 1. My bad. Let's do 0.5 there, and it makes them the shades lighter blue. Okay, so I see it's a proportion. So this is the darkest that they would be, and then you can make your bins super light. Look, they're white, basically. If I put 0, they would actually be white. So you can do that. You can show the line connecting the midpoint of your bins. I don't like this, so I wouldn't do that. But let's see, line. You can make it thicker. Now, does this give me? I love it. You can make it real fat. All right. And then you can do the density curve, which I appreciate a little bit more because it's a little bit smoother. And then you can change the opacity of that line. You can make it darker so it stands out a little bit more, and you can make the line a little bit thicker. So we do. I just because I want to. What happened to my mouse? There we go. We can just because we can do that. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? All right, let's change it back to 0.05. You can make the plot whiter. We can make this, I believe these values are pixels. So we make that 1,000, right? Or we can make the height 1,000 as well, not 100, 1,000. Look at that, beautiful. And then you can also make this a horizontal chart as well, kind of like what they do for rain cloud plots. So we can do that as well. Let's make the height 500 again so I can fit it on my screen. There we go. So it's a little wider, so it makes the bars a little bit wider. We can add in these plot elements, plot title, font size, aligning the set in the center. Subtitle, we can add a subtitle. We can add a plot caption, which is great because you can be like, figure 1, APA style. If I could type, figure 1, histogram of neuroticism. Again, neuroticism. There we go. And then it adds in the little caption. Yeah, there we go. That's APA style right there. Add axis titles, although to be fair, I mean, the axes themselves will be managed down here, and then add axis titles here. I don't understand why we would want to use this if we already have them, but, you know, make your own graphs, I suppose. Font and rotation, and font and rotation. I guess it's, oh, you know what? Let's see. Neuro. Let's see what happens. Yes, okay, so default it uses the title of the variable, but here you can change it. Okay, so that's why you would want to change it there. And then frequency N is the default for the y-axis, but you can change it freck. Let's just make it freck. There we go. Neuro freck. So it looks even worse than it did at the start. And then you can change the axes data inputs. And you can add a legend if you want to. Of course, legends for histograms, not necessarily needed, but you can add in a legend, a dad there. Oh, you know what? Legends don't actually show for histograms, to be fair. Yeah, they don't really show. But that's okay. So I'm not sure why that option is. Oh, probably for the group. If I had a grouping variable, it would show. Okay, very good. So that's the histogram, right? So that's using the histogram. Going to skip the Pareto plot. Line graphs, again, you're going to have an x-axis and a y-axis, and you can have a grouping variable. You can display as individual points or aggregated data. Look at that. Just a little, so it shows you the actual progression of openness and extroversion, kind of like a scatter plot, right? So aggregate or individual options are going to be right here. Aggregate options are going to show the mean. You can also show the median. Doesn't really change much, but they change a little. You can have error bars on here. Oh boy, that's quite busy, but works nevertheless. And you can change the error bar stylings, how big they are, how wide they are. Okay. So aggregate adds in this at the top, but individual takes it away. The rest of the options are for both. Show the lines, show the points. Grouping options, you can change the different line type, right? Different line types for different variables, different colors if you're going to have a grouping variable, because you don't just have to have 2 groups. You can have more than 1 group, because this could be a line plot for an ANOVA that has like 4 groups, you know? You can change the titles axis and you can have the legend. But as you can see, we don't need a legend because I don't have a grouping variable. So we can do that as well. Very similar options for each of these for the line plot. Okay, moving on to scatter. Of course, there is no aggregate, but general options, you can change the scatter point. You can change the width of and height of the plot itself. You can flip axes, so I can put extroversion on Y and agreeableness on X, just to show that it, just to show it. We can show the regression line, right? So we can hit show the regression line, and it will put the standard error in this blue right here. That's the standard error for the regression line. And we can smooth it, or we can have it just as a line, I would say. Leave that line. Now, it's very important to indicate here that this shaded blue region is not confidence intervals, which it normally does show when you look at this. And if you make this plot in another plotting package, if you add it over here to modules, right? PLOTS does not have the modules button. But if I were to go to analyses and add in the modules button, a lot of the times the shaded region is confidence intervals, 95% most likely. But here, what we'd want to do is put in the caption. We'd put in like figure 2, if I could type figure 2, scatter plot, blah, 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 blah. The shaded blue region is the standard error of the regression line or line of best fit or whatever. And then you would put that in and then left center it. And there it is. It's kind of in the way, I would say. Maybe a little bit of room needed, but that's all right. And then you can make the same adjustments to the axes and to the legend if you had a grouping variable, which would have been really great for me to have when I was doing my dissertation, because I was doing multiple scatters on the same plot. If you go to my dissertation, I'm pretty sure I have that. Multiple scatters, so multiple data sets on the same plot because they had the same y-axis. I think they had the same y, and they were just different groups. Phenomenal. That would have been great. Here we have the box plot, very common box plot general options, right? You can show the notch instead of just a normal box for the, I believe that's the median, the notch for the median. You can show outliers. Those are these dots up here and down here. It'd be interesting to find out what they're using for the outliers, like what different method they're using to detect outliers. Same plot size and orientation, same plot and axes titles modification, and the same legend if you have grouping variables, which is nice for a box plot if you're doing it as a descriptive. And then bar plots, you have 3 different variable types. You can do categorical, which require categorical variables. Of course, you can do continuous. Here is my neuroticism. I could have grouping variables. Here are the continuous options. You can show an error bar. Look at that error bar. Standard deviation, standard error, confidence interval. Change the styling of it. General options. You can change your width and add in the value at the top, kind of like what Excel does. Plot size, grouping options. You can either do grouped, which is side-by-side groups, or you can do stacked, which is one on top of the other. And then the same options for modifying what the plot looks like, what the figure looks like, right? Changing titles, captions, etc. And then if you had a grouping variable, you could change the legend. I don't have any, so I chose a continuous variable data set, so I don't have any grouping variables. And then you can do counts here, and there are general options for that, but they are the same. And you could have labels here. Counts has the difference here of labels. And so those are sort of the plots, right? But let's do the last change before this video gets any longer, okay? We're going to right click on the histogram, not up here to, well, I guess you could do plot here, but I think choosing the image, so you have a gold bar or orange bar around it, and you right click on it to image. You go to export, and here we have, by default, we have PDF as the default, but then we can save it as an image. So these were here in a previous update, but now we have PowerPoint slide PPTX. So we click on that, okay? And we're going to browse, and I'm just going to put it on my desktop. I saved something earlier. And for some reason, it's changing it to PDF, but no, I want to select PowerPoint. So be careful about that. If you hit export up here, it's going to save it to the recycle bin in my Windows virtual machine. I don't want it to save it to the recycle bin in my Windows virtual machine. So I hit browse, but then it gives you this, of course, this is Mac. It gives you this. You have to change it here because it's not going to accept what you put over here. So you have to change it here. I don't know if that's the case on Windows, but just ensure that you have chosen within your dialog box that you're saving as a PPTX, because by default, it goes back to PDF. So we're going to do PowerPoint slide, and it's going to be untitled because I don't really care about titling it. So we're going to save that, saving it to my desktop, and I'm going to double click on it and bring it over to this monitor. And here it is. Here it is. Look at that. And you could save it as a picture if you wanted to, but it's already in a slide. You can go to design and put it into, a different thingamajig, right? Here it is. And that's my slide design. And look at that. Freck Neuro and histogram of neuroticism, figure 1. And it's all self-contained. Now, can you edit these individual pieces? You can, because there's the shaded region of that. You can change this. Look at that's very lovely. I can also type in it, and it's in the same font as that. There's not much. I'm trying to grab other things. You can take the back away from it. Look at that. It's just to add in other text. That's a layer probably for the things. We can change the text on this, right? Neuro, XEXEX. There's a lot of things that you can now do in, oh, there we go. I was able to grab the line. So there's a lot of things you can now do because it puts this as an individual piece. Saving it as an image makes it a static image, flattened JPEG, right? PNG, whatever, or the EPS one, whatever it is. But saving as a PDF makes all of these elements changeable. Look, that last one, that 4 point whatever, it's got a much bigger frequency to it. Love it, right? So you can make all of these changes that you want. It's so cool. It's so cool, right? So let's go ahead and save that. I'm going to delete it later, but felt cute, might delete later. And I saved it, and it's now on a PowerPoint slide, and I can mess with it. See, I can't mess with it in here. I can't change anything because it's tied to this neuroticism data within the Big 5 data set. So there you go. So those are the two big changes in 2.7 of Jamovi. If you have any comments, suggestions, other feedback, questions, drop those in the comments down below. I will see you in the next video. Have fun with your Jamovi. Bye.